Hi, once again, here we are for another episode of Coach Curly. Today we're with Raymond. So, hey Raymond, how you doing?
Good, Paul, and yourself?
Good, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
What do you want to work on today?
I find in life that I get so far with things, I think I can conquer them, I can get ahead, and something obstacle seems to come up in front. Whether it's something a barrier I'm putting there, a blockage I'm putting there, some crap goes on, I think it's probably manifested by myself.
Yep. Okay, so typically what would that look like?
3 odd years ago it was multiple heart attacks.
Yeah.
So I think, fit and healthy up until then. The surgeon said one little bit of plaque come and drift and blocked off your heart. So I've lost 60% of my heart muscle.
Right.
I'm working on the best 40% going these days.
Yep.
So yeah, so you think these things manifest, and then basically prostrate scare and the whole bit with that. Got through that okay. And
when you say got through that okay?
well, they were pretty sure it was cancerous in the first stages, and they did basically double a lot of biopsies and everything else, and finally come up clear.
Yep.
So at that stage there, I'd been a couple of weeks off all my heart medication.
Yep.
I said to my wife at the time, I'm not going back on my heart medication. I never felt so well. So for the last 3 years, I haven't been on my heart medication. I just take some natural things to help the prostrate.
Yep.
Just take some basically minerals and things like that.
Yep.
And here I am today.
Okie doke. So those are both medical things. So are we talking longer term than just that, where things jump in the way?
Listening to the people before and other sessions, I basically think it's gone back to childhood like most people.
Yeah.
Can't ever remember my mother or anyone that basically giving me a cuddle or anything like that sort of thing.
Yep.
And I think then through my first marriage and my children growing up, I transferred all that sort of thing onto my children, my 3 girls.
By
just
not being close to them?
Yeah,
or by being
not being close in the sense of a touchy-feely sort of person, more direct, and you'll do this and you'll do that.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Okie doke. So without trying to figure out your childhood, all that kind of stuff, how does a relationship with your daughters, that kind of thing, how does that get in the picture in terms of things jumping in the way and turning out to be hurdles?
Pretty well not there anymore. That's pretty well gone. I don't have that relationship with them or my grandchildren. So.
Okay, so that relationship...
That all fell apart when the divorce went through. So.
Okay. So at the time of the divorce, I presume your kids sided with their mum?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They were adults at the time, I had grandchildren and everything else, but that's the way they went. So. So it's made life pretty tough. So. But I suppose you reflect back on yourself and you think that problem's got to come from me. I suppose you take on the blame. But I was the one that walked away. So.
Okay. So you're the one that ended the relationship?
I'm the one that ended the relationship.
And that's the source of the...
Yep.
Okie doke.
Click, click.
Click, click. Now I got it. Rightio. So if the heart attack was meant to do something for you, what did it bring into your life? What did it get you?
Taught me basically to cherish what life I've got.
Yep.
I still haven't backed off as far as, if we use the terminology, work hard. I still put the hours in and do what I can do. I still physically do a lot around the yard and the garden and things like that. Although you get told not to do all that. So I've probably pushed the envelope still a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just made me appreciate life, but in that appreciation and coming to different seminars and things like that, you start to realise you haven't got it all together. There's something missing, and it's trying to put your finger on that thing that's missing.
Yep.
And having a wife like I've got with her background and everything else, she says you need to go and talk to somebody else besides talking to me.
Yep. Because
in the sense of that's the person can be a practitioner, you don't listen to them because they're too close to you.
Yep. What does she do?
Gillian, she's a natural therapist and counsellor and all that type of thing. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's got a heap of solutions.
She's got a heap of solutions, but you don't seem as though you listen, and I suppose she probably finds it harder to talk to me about it.
Okay, so one of your methods for, to me, this is an issue about closeness.
Yes.
So when I say to you, what does a heart event bring into your life, what do you get? You tell me what you'd learnt. Yes. But let's just imagine Raymond travelling through life, not getting something that he wants, so he has a heart attack to get it. What would it be?
Gee, that's hard.
Bearing in mind what your heart does.
Well, it sustains life.
So again?
Sustains life.
Oh, yeah, not physically. What does it do metaphorically, metaphysically?
Feelings.
Do you know how to spell that word?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, having hardened your heart, would it be any surprise that your heart went hard?
No.
So what was a series of heart attacks? I love that, series of heart attacks. You know that most people don't survive the first one.
Oh, the surgeon told me I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, yeah. So you keep running around in the backyard trying to finish yourself off or something. Only got 40% of it left to kill and you'll be gone.
Yep, yep.
I love that. 40% of my heart's working, so I'm racing around the backyard. Yep. So, what was a heart attack? Metaphysically, what was a heart attack going to bring into your life? Rather than what you learnt from it, which is great that you learn it, but what was it there to bring into your life?
I suppose you could say that it brings people back into your life, but it didn't. You know, if you want to call it the pity side or the caring side or the nurturing side, but it actually didn't.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Go on.
I'm sorry. These things are, you've got it. What it's meant to do is it's meant to bring into your life people wrapping their arms around you, telling you that they love you. But we, as human beings, we don't do things that work.
No.
We do things that don't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, it didn't work. But what was it there for? To produce that warmth.
Yep.
The whole kind of wrap your arms around you kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like my sense right now is that if I gave you a hug, everything would be right. Because that's the only thing that's missing in your life.
Okay.
Now it's missing because you don't get it from your grandkids, you don't get it from your daughters, that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm getting at?
I'm with you.
Okay.
Yep.
So when someone shows up in my environment and I get the desire to hug them, to fix them and to make them right, I know that there's someone who's needing that or that it's missing. Well, you've told us where it's missing from, the daughters and the grandkids. But that also is just a reflection of what's going on. So who is it who needs a hug?
Maybe you.
Well, I'm up for it, but I was actually asking you about what kind of person. What kind of person needs a hug?
I was going to use the term needy, but somebody that's feeling down, low, wants to be cared for, wants to be loved, wants...
All right, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey because my question hasn't been very good.
I
asked you a bad question. So, what does a policeman get when he straps on a gun and a star or a badge and a pair of handcuffs?
Probably feeling of authority or
feeling of power.
Yep.
What kind of person needs to strap power on?
Somebody that hasn't got it.
Someone who doesn't feel it inside.
Inside, yeah. Yep.
You might have seen a previous episode of Coach Girl. We had a guy called Leon who wasn't feeling really powerful.
All right, yeah.
So we tend to, if we feel not inwardly strong, we will tend to want to find it
elsewhere
and stick it on if we can, or grab it, or hold it, or.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's a policeman. Now I'm not saying that's a story with every policeman, but you know, bit of a parallel. What kind of a person needs a hug?
Possibly the same type of person.
Or a person who hasn't got. A person who hasn't hugged themselves.
Oh, okay. So basically,
if I need it from outside, it's because I'm not.
Right. So it's basically, our saying is you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. In that sense.
That's the whole issue here.
Okay.
Is that why do you need a hug from me or someone else, or why do you need to be held and nurtured and cuddled? Well, we can go back in your childhood, but who wants to go there? We'll just deal with what's presenting as a consequence of your childhood. And what I'm saying is you need... A hug is an expression of love.
True.
So who needs to be loved from outside?
We do.
Someone who's
not loved within internally.
Yeah.
Themselves.
Yeah.
Thought about that once before, you know, because you say that term, love yourself before you love somebody else. Yeah.
It's a bit of an old...
Yeah, I know.
It's a furphy in personal development. You know, you got to love yourself.
But it's the feeling, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's... For you personally, it's about hardening yourself up to get through life.
Mm-hmm.
In the way that you described with your early relationship with your daughters. So that hardening of your heart produces a physical corresponding thing. When we say, okay, so when you look back on it, you won't be overly pleased with yourself about that. So that's okay. We say, what have we got to do now? Well, you need to love yourself. But how do you do that? Because in personal development, they say love yourself, and then they never give you the how. The how is about care and respect.
For yourself. Okay.
So how would you, if I said you need to take more care of you, what would you go and start doing?
Probably work less hours.
That's a probably, is it?
I would work. I would work less hours. Yeah, less physical stress and strain on the body.
Yeah, less.
More exercise.
More exercise. Yep. Bearing in mind that the heart's struggling.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Not much point giving yourself, as a way of caring for yourself, a bunch of exercise that knocks you off.
No, walking I find is the best.